Cheers. It is Friday. You know what else today is aside from Friday? It's Wicked Day. Today is the premiere of Wicked. Wicked for Good with Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. And guess who saw it today? This girl. It's amazing. I plan to go at least, well, definitely one more time. Perhaps two. We will see though. But I do recommend it. Welcome back to Antonia's Blissful Corner. I'm Antonia, and this is your quiet space for reflection, growth, and peace. Before we get started, I'm going to invite you to get a copy of my book, Unlocking the Introvert, a pocket guide to understanding and interacting with introverts. It is available at societyofintroverts.com, Amazon, and everywhere books are sold online. So, yes, today is Wicked Day. And after I finish watching it a couple more times, then I'm going to give my feedback. But it resonates with me so much. Cynthia's part. But anyway, that's not why we're here tonight. We are here because of that dreaded, um, how do I want to put it? Hmm. um, when introverts feel rejected. I was thinking about how other people, right? So we're learning how to use our words and basically learn how to say no and mean it because no is a full sentence. But what happens when we hear the word no? I thought I've been thinking lately about a time or two when I have experienced that and how I felt about it. And it didn't feel nice. Anyway, I'm going to get into it because this one is cute. And what I love is that a lot of the experiences that I have, it's been with mom, right? And so for me, it's good, right? Because then at least I'm able to basically laugh at it, look back on it, and or ask her, "What were you thinking in that moment?" type thing. But anyway, rejection, not the loud, dramatic kind. I'm talking about like the quiet ways rejection shows up in the life of an introvert. For us, it's rarely the no that stings. It's the silence, the shift, the disappearing act. Like honestly, it kind of feels like being ghosted, right? Even if they don't mean it that way, I feel that that's how we receive it. Like, wait, what happened, right? Because it's kind of like yesterday we were fine, everything we were consistent, and today it's like different. It's like instant shift. And what makes it tough is that we don't ask questions. We don't pick up the phone and say, "Hey, what happened? Like you're not good no more." We just wait for time to work it out, and we're thinking, "Okay, they're gonna go today." And it doesn't happen for everyone. Is for the select few that we are close with or we thought we were close with. Um, but we don't ask questions. You know, a normal person would say, "Hey, are we good? You need some time?" We're like, no, we feel like we're burdening them, so we don't want to bother them. We're telling ourselves, just get them some time. They'll come around, and instead, like, we take it inward. We sit with it. We replay it in our minds. We overthink it because that's what we do best. And brings me to the story with mom, right? Well, no, I'm going to go to a one that was more recent. A number of years ago, there was someone that I appreciated spending time on the phone with. We had a lot in common, right? A lot, at least so I thought. And we had like a routine, right? Um, we would chat about this, that, and the third, and like this yeah, in the past 5 years or so, right? But we've known each other for a very long time. But um, I remember everything was fine until it wasn't, right? The routine that we had, it was something for me to look forward to in that moment because we were good years ago, and then there was there was I don't know if division is the right word, but there was a, like there was a gap when we didn't speak at all. But then we reconnected, and it was good because when you separate from people, and if you're meant to, like be close or whatever have you, it's nice because then you kind of like catch up on all the things that you've missed. Because as I grow, I realize that I used to be like just very quiet. Like if my energy didn't connect, then my words were very few. But anyway, like it was nice to basically like just catch up, and like we used to do our thing. But then one day it was silence. And I was like, wait a second. And to the point where I went to mommy, I'm like, I don't know what happened. Right. And what made it strange was that we actually had experienced the same thing from somebody else. Like somebody else, I guess, ghosted us. Because like we're all familiar, and it was crazy. So when the person ghosted us, we are like, wait a second. So when she ghosted me, I was like, what the heck? Am I the common denominator? And I was like, all right, fine. Because again, I'm not gonna pick up the phone and say, hey, what happened? I'm waiting for the days to go by. I'm monitoring the phone. And then when it did not, um, when there was no message, I was like, all right then, and honestly, I'm grateful for those times because it made me stronger. It makes me who I am today, right? Because I'm learning how to deal with loss, whether it's in or I'm learning how to deal with it, right? Um, but when that quiet hit me, I was like, wait a second, you too? In my mind, I'm like, how could you? Because I'm not gonna lie, it did sting a little bit. But the reality of it is we can't read people's minds, and um sometimes it really isn't us. Sometimes it is the other person, right? I don't I never I feel like I've never accepted that though, because when people say, oh no, trust me, it's not you, it's me, it's like, no, it's me. How could you? At the time, I did not know how I would work through it, but I did, right? And that's the thing. Like when you overcome an obstacle, it's always amazing because then you make it to the other side. Um, I didn't have the emotional language or tools, but I did have questions. But eventually, I moved past it, and now it's a memory that doesn't even live in me anymore because I got way too many other things living in that space, right? But it happened, and so it's such as life. Now back to mommy. So mommy's happened years ago when she used to live in Jersey, and I always appreciated having events in my house, right? Because I mentioned in a previous video that I love to cook, so I would cook, and then mommy was kind of like my unofficial, I don't know, inviter person. She was like the invitation department. And because mommy and her brothers lived in Jersey, I would call mommy and be like, hey, mommy, can you please call Uncle so and so or call the uncles and let them know that I'm cooking? So whether it was for Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, or in the summertime, right? Name it, we were doing it. It's a habit that I picked up from mom because when her eldest brother was alive, well, him and his wife, we used to basically do that at his house because they had a nice big backyard. So summertime, that was a thing. When I moved to New York, then I decided, okay, I'll do it, right? Because I love to cook, but I don't love to entertain per se because I don't like to do this. But anyway, I called mom and I said, hey, mom, can you please call Uncle so and so? And she was like, no, no. I looked at the phone like she said no. I don't even remember if I asked her why not, because I think I was in such a shock. Like she just said no. And I sat there and I played with that no in my brain. This is years ago. I played with that no in my brain for a while because it really caught me off guard. I wasn't prepared for it. But I remember saying to her, well, I guess they ain't coming because I ain't calling them. And I really do not remember what happened that year. I know that I had my event because it was something that, I planned. And because the events used to be, mostly like immediate family, but then sometimes someone would invite a friend, blah, 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 whatever have you. Especially like when we had like the Memorial Day barbecue. It grew, it was ridiculously huge. Excuse me. Anyway, the following year, I had to find the courage to call my uncles, and they were like, okay, sure. Right. And I feel like sometimes we do that to ourselves where we overthink things and it's like, oh my God, the world is gonna end if I ask. Oh my God, I need some kind of power. And then, we take so long to process the question and go through the whole agony of asking. And then their yes comes so quick and it's like, so I went through all of that for nothing. It's weird. It's really weird. Because then you wonder like, what was I afraid of? Like, what is the problem? And I always remember that mommy used to always tell me and my siblings that the answer can either be yes or no, and it's true. And I've learned that when you ask questions, you ask it in a way such that you believe that the answer is going to be yes. I'm still working on that part, but yeah, whatever. um, at the time, though, what I didn't realize that her no was not a rejection; it was a boundary. And here's the part introverts don't always talk about. One reason we take other people's no so personally is because we're used to saying yes to everybody. Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Yes, yes, yes. I'm your girl, right? Yes, when we're tired. Yes, when we're overwhelmed. Yes, when we want to say no. Yes, when the yes is hurting us, right? We have spent so many years saying yes that when someone finally tells us no, it hits a place that we didn't even know was tender. Like my heart, my back, my toe. But their no isn't always about us. Sometimes it's about them protecting their peace, right? Because as I'm on my journey now, I'm realizing that now that I've learned how to say no, those people already went through theirs and they learned how to say no. So now they're saying no, right? So now I understand it. I understand it better. Um, I mean, I'm not gonna say that mommy was choosing herself over me, but just saying. And because we didn't grow up understanding boundaries, because we were the yes people, we didn't know how to recognize someone else's boundary without feeling rejected. Like, you said no, right? But a boundary isn't a betrayal. A boundary is not a rejection. A boundary is simply someone choosing themselves in that moment, just like we've learned how to do. And rejection shows up in everyday life also. Like, you ever run full speed to catch the bus, sweating, praying, promising, "Ooh, I'll leave home early the next time," only for the bus to pull off the moment that you reach the curb? That has happened to me. Same thing with the train. And sometimes when I sit on the train now and I see people running to catch it and the door go doo doo and close, I'm like, ooh, I feel so bad for them. But you know what? That isn't rejection either. Or you finally work up the courage to volunteer somewhere and they tell you, oh, I'm sorry, we have enough people. That happened to me also. I remember one year for Thanksgiving, I called one of the places in Manhattan because I really wanted to go and um, donate time to help to serve the people in need. And I was like, what you mean you got enough people? It was weird. Um, that was rejection. But here's the thing. Over time, I stopped spiraling, right? I learned to accept things for what they are. Because for me, like now I look at it like even in a case where I wanted to volunteer, I look at it, well, at least I tried, right? God sees and knows my heart, and He knows that I'm sincere with it. And the reality of it is, I am grateful that they had enough people because then at least there are other people out there who are also thinking about those without, right? So I stopped letting the no or the silence take up emotional space it didn't earn because rejection is not denial. Sometimes it's just timing. Sometimes it means not now. Sometimes it means you're ready, but the other person isn't. And sometimes it's God redirecting you. Sometimes that redirection is really needed, right? Because sometimes that thing that we want to do, it may not be meant for us to do it now. Maybe it's meant for later. Introverts feel it deeply, even in silence. So now when things shift or people say no or disappear, I tell myself, well, give it time, breathe. This is not personal. It is life. That's what it is. And that little shift has changed everything for me, right? So I'm hoping that my stories and my experience will help you as you continue on your journey because I think sometimes we think that we're the only one that experience these things and it hurts. Oh my God. But then, when you realize that there are other people who have gone through it, then you realize, okay, I'll survive. Because what's the alternative? You have to live, right? And all of the experiences, like, it'll make you into such a greater person, because remember, you are becoming her. Okay? Please also remember that peace isn't a place, it's a choice. Stay blissful. And before you go, remember to get my book, Unlocking the Introvert, a pocket guide to understanding and interaction with introverts. It's available at societyofintroverts.com, Amazon, and everywhere books are sold online. I will see you the next time. One more thing. Please, if you are visiting and you have not subscribed, is it kindly subscribe. Comment below and let me know how you are dealing with rejection, or if you have a story to share that might help us, right? We're all in this thing together. We're all learning and growing as we go on this. Somebody was saying this morning that one of the pet peeves that they have is that they don't like when people use the term "I'm on my journey," but it's a journey called life. And so we're all on this thing called, or we're all experiencing this thing called life, and it is a journey for all of us. So, anyway, thank you again for tuning in. Like this, comment, share with someone who might be, dealing with how the not now, that they shouldn't take it personally. All right. So, I will see you in the next time. Have a great night.